All right, sticking in the Eastern Conference semifinals, we now move to Atlanta, where the Philadelphia 76ers won game three, and they've got a 2-1 series lead over the Hawks. They get 27 points from Joel Embiid in 34 minutes. Ben Simmons with a nice game as well. They get 22 from Tobias Harris. Just not enough in this game from the Hawks. They did get 28 points and 8 assists from Trae Young, John Collins, and Bogdanovich, pretty good contributors as well. But after that, after the Hawks stole game one, they haven't been able to get it done in games 2 and 3. Drink any chance the Hawks can recover and get back in this series, or do you think Philly is going to close this out relatively easily?
Yeah, hell no. It ain't nothing the Hawks can do. This one is done, folks. Yeah, this one is done. Listen, here's the deal. Unlike Milwaukee and Brooklyn, right? You can get. I can sit down and possibly draw a path to a win for Milwaukee. Do this. You can do this. Put Giannis in this situation. Put Chris Middleton in this situation. You know, whatever the case might be. It's a way to draw up a way that the Milwaukee Bucks can beat the Nets. I would love to hear it for the Hawks beating the 76ers. I would love to hear it. Because their recipe, they used it to game one to their advantage, right? They did what they had to do. The element of surprise is out the window once you put the strategy out there. So they did what they had to do. Trae Young got in his spots. Everything was good. We have to remember, their best defender was also on the court in game one. He is no longer playing for the rest of this series and probably for the rest of the playoffs. That being DeAndre Hunter. He's out now.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
He's out now. So I look at the trio, Trae Young, John Collins, and Bogdan Bogdanovich. Shooter, inside guy. Now, I compare that to, let's say, Embiid, Simmons, and Tobias Harris. I guess that'll be a big three for the 76ers. I just, experience-wise, it's no match. Those three experience level compared to the three from the 76ers, it's no match. Consistency, we probably have a little conversation. But this is what we do know. Joel Embiid is better than anything the Sixers got. Anything the Hawks got right now. You can say, some people might say Trae Young could possibly be neck to neck with Ben Simmons. I don't think that. The only reason people would say that, because Ben Simmons don't shoot threes and he don't shoot free throws that well. Those are two things that Trae Young do better. Outside of that, though, Happy Meal Trae Young ain't locking nobody up, right? He ain't making no plays out of the paint. He's not doing none of that. So with that said, I don't see the path for the Hawks no more. I just don't. You got one game. Thank you for coming. You know what I'm saying? And listen, with everything said, not to just dog on the Hawks. I think the Hawks overachieved. I think they did a very good job to get where they're at now. Because if you would have asked me if the Hawks would have won the first series, I took the Knicks. So I think what Nate McMillan has done with this team is very commendable, and I think it's something they can build on next season and the season after. But this is just too much for them. It's levels to this. Listen, we done talked about this all year. It was three teams that was cut and dry better than the rest of the field. And the team at the top of that heat was the Philadelphia 76ers. So with that said, it's just they overmatched. When the team, this is when I knew they was overmatched. I watched the game last night, right? And the 76ers legitimately can turn their defense off and on. Like, I literally watched them mope around, play some all right defense, and then, Doc Rivers like, all right, guys, they starting to build some confidence. Let's go ahead and get them out of here. Danny Green gets hurt. Whatever goes on with him, he limps off the court. Here come my boy, my main man, Matisse Thybulle coming in with the longest arms in the business, I guess. And he comes in, steal, turnover, and you can see the game kind of getting out of Atlanta's like area of expertise at that point, because now they're turning over the ball more. They're having a hard time. Trae Young is having a hard time giving the ball to John Collins. You know, Bondon, he got to take tough corner 3-point shots. Solomon Hill, listen, Solomon Hill, I ain't had nothing to do with that dude since he rolled in that LeBron leg. Like, ever since that, I'm just like, this dude right here. That's what he's going to be known for the rest of his career, as far as I'm concerned. You got that dude. He doing. You know, I guess he kind of doing some things. At the end of the day, though, at the end of the day, it's this simple. When Embiid, Simmons, and Harris are engaged, and I ain't talking about the shooters and all the other stuff they got. When those three guys are engaged, and you got Simmons, no crap, coming down, running that offense. You got Embiid taking more shots in the paint instead of outside the paint. And you got Harris in his in-between game cooking. When those three are on their game, the Hawks really don't have an answer for that. I'm sorry, they don't have an answer for that. Because you're getting it from three different angles. Then, that's when the Currys, the Korkmaz, the Danny Green when he ain't hurt, I guess. The Shake Miltons, the Tyrese Maxey, all these other guys come in and just be like, hey, thanks for setting us up, guys. Oh, the lead is up to 25. This game is over just that fast. That's it. That's the game in this series. So to answer your question, it's no way. Hey, commendable. This is some real commendable stuff from the Hawks. Real commendable. I ain't trying to undersell what they done, but they're now on the level of the 76ers. This series is over. The 76ers are going to try to wrap this up so they can, get some rest and get ready for the winner of Milwaukee and the Nets, mainly the Nets. And, get ready for this conference final series. So now this series is over, in my opinion, man. I just don't see what Atlanta could do.
Yeah, the little path you draw up for the Hawks to, even up the series and make it, and it is only 2-1 right now, but you gotta think that's game 4 is a must win for the Hawks. And I don't see it. You'd have to have a situation where, Philadelphia come out there and they taking a nap, or you have a Danny Green injury transfer to another player who, disrespect Danny Green, but they'll be fine without you because they got that second wave of perimeter guys that just. I still can't believe I forget what commentator it was talking about he didn't think that much of their perimeter guys. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, even if I understand they don't have none of their perimeter guys are like stars, but they have they got 5 guys off their bench that they can bring in. They all do different things, and they're all solid quality NBA players. So I didn't quite understand that, but it's pretty simple. And we've seen this from time to time, like a team that is, no question, absolutely superior to its opponent. Sometimes you can catch them. Sometimes you can catch them early. I mean, I think about Portland last year when they caught the Lakers in game 1 of that series. And there's a saying in baseball, when you're playing against a great pitcher, you got to get them early, because if you don't, then you have no chance, because then then that guy establishes a rhythm, and you can't touch him for the rest of the game. And I think that's kind of what we have here. Atlanta, through the first punch, they got out of the gates 1-0, just like Portland did last year. But then Philadelphia adjusts, they get more focused, take it more seriously. They're like, oh, well, we actually, we can't just, stroll on through. We actually got to put our foot to the gas pedal. I think that's what they've done. They turned up their defense. I think the second half of game 2, that was really the start of them turning up their defense. I think there's something to what you said. Their defense is that elite that they can. It's almost like Golden State's offense in years past. That's a light switch. But when they focus, it's over. And I think. I think what you saw is, I'm a little surprised that Trae Young only took 17 shots. I would suspect that Philadelphia is, that's Philadelphia saying, we're gonna, come at you so hard that you're gonna be forced to give the ball up, and we will make someone else beat us. And we don't believe you have anybody else that can beat us. And I think that's a pretty good summation of what we're seeing here. So it's unfortunate for Atlanta, but then again, as you say, as you so correctly put, there were three teams in the East that we thought would be, the those were there were three teams that separated themselves from the rest of the field, like you said. That's why that 4 or 5 seed was going to be, such a key matchup because your 6, 7, 8 seeds they were going to be sent packing early, most likely, and they all were. So Atlanta, when you look at what they've done this season, where they were before they made a coaching change, I even right now, like you gotta believe nobody in that locker room is gonna quit, but I do think it's kind of a foregone conclusion that they're gonna be sent home. Um, maybe DeAndre Hunter, a healthy DeAndre Hunter, maybe he could change some things, but you don't have him, and I think that really hurts them because Solomon Hill is that's just a no doubt a downgrade in their lineup. So, but they got a lot to be proud of. Nate McMillan, I mean, this guy, give him as long a contract as you can. I'm getting sick of this guy getting fired for no reason. So, but yeah, I mean, Philadelphia, they're just clearly a better team. And I think what we're seeing right now is Nikola Jokic won the MVP. No problem with that at all. But Joel Embiid is the best player right now to me in basketball. And because of that, I think he is leading this team to where they should go and where we thought they could go for the past couple of years. They just couldn't get it done under Brett Brown. But under Doc Rivers has added a little, he's made a few tweaks here and there, and they operate, and when they play at their best, I'm not sure there's a team out there, even Brooklyn and Milwaukee, that's going to be able to overcome them in a 7-game series.